So in this video, we are going to see how to multiply two matrices. So first I'll just multiply it by using the procedure, and then after that we shall use our TI-84 calculator to do the multiplication. Okay. So first thing we have to check is whether the matrix multiplication can be performed here. So what we would do is that we would look at the dimensions of the matrices. So this is a 2 by 2 matrix, and this one is a 2 by 3 matrix. Okay, so in this case, remember this, if I want to multiply, say, AB, then the number of columns in A has to match with the number of rows in the matrix B, right? Okay, so let me again mention that this number of columns, this part has to match this, and the product, which we are going to call AB, of course, would be what? Would be of these two outer dimensions. Okay, so this is what this would be, and in this case you can see that BA will not be available simply because of what? Because the number of columns in the matrix that we are using first is 3, but the number of rows in A is how much? 2. So they do not match. So this is not available. Okay. So now we would like to compute AB. So here we have A. Okay. And then here we got B. And the size of the matrix is what? It's determined by these outer dimensions. So the size of the product would be, the size of the product is going to be 2 by 3. Now this is just a coincidence that the size of this corresponds with the size of the product, and you will see I'm going to show you some examples a little later in which it will not be the same. So this is the first row and first column of the product. So what we would do is we'll take the first row of the first matrix and first column of the second matrix and go ahead and multiply the corresponding elements, right? And add them up. So corresponding elements mean first here, second here. So this gets to be 3 times 1. Now we are in the first row and second column. So we'll take the first row of the first matrix, second column of the second matrix, and multiply the corresponding elements. What do I mean? First element with first, second with second. So we got, okay. So then we got 3 times how much? 3 times -1, right? Then we got the first row and the third column. So we get 2 times 4 plus, this is the second entry, 3 times 2. Just please stay awake with me on this. All right, now we got the second row and the first column. So this is the second row, the first column. Let's take the corresponding elements together. So there we go. And then what we would do, second element here, second here. So we will take 5 times 1, right? Now second row, second column. So we take the second row here, second column here, multiply the corresponding entries. So we got this. Then 5 times how much? -1. And we are about done. Third row, third column. Sorry, second row, third column. So second row and the third column. So we got 1 times how much? 4 plus 5 times how much? 2. All right. So what happens is now we are just going to finish the arithmetic, and when you finish the arithmetic, the answer will be simply this is the value of the product, right? Let me just check if we did it right. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so yes, these two match. And now I'm going to show you how would you do that in your TI-84 calculator. Okay, so just one. So now let's see how would our TI-84 calculator compute this product for us. So here is the TI-84 calculator. I'll go to matrix by doing what? Just taking this second, and here is matrix, just, you know, written here. And then first we want to edit the matrix. Now in this case, A is a 2 by 3 matrix. First let's go to edit. So we will say, okay, the dimension of A have to be changed. The number of rows is how much? 2. And the number of columns is how many? 2. So we did that, and then we have to just enter the entries of this matrix. So we got this 1 and 5. Very good. So we have entered this matrix here. Now we will go to this again and change and go ahead and enter our matrix B here. So in this case, we have to specify that number of rows is 2, number of columns is 3, and then go ahead and then just enter all the values here. Okay, so we got -1 and 2, right? Okay, so let's make sure that I entered it correctly. Looks like it. So now we will quit out of it. Let's just quit here and go to matrix again. And now we would like to do what? Multiply those two matrices. Just a second. I think an easier way would be this, that we can just recall them from here. Go to matrix. So I want to find A, B. So I just selected A. Then I'll go there again. Now I want to write B, so I'll enter, and let's hope it will give us AB now, and it does, the same value. So that's how you will use your calculator to obtain this product. Okay. Now, let's just see a different example with automated calculation. So say we have A given by these entries, B by these entries, and here number of columns matches with the number of rows. So I can multiply A with B, and I'm just going to let the computer do that. And just to stress, a coincidence that we saw in the earlier example, that the size of the product is not necessarily this. So this is 3 by 4, this is 4 by 3. So the size of the product will be determined by these outer dimensions. And if you go ahead and find the value, this is what the product is. Now in this case, what we have is that we have BA available as well. And of course, that will be a different size now because I have 4 rows here, 4 columns here. So the product will be 4 by 4. So this is also just an example to see that the matrix multiplication is not commutative.